Do you get nervous at all watching him?
Yeah, he almost died this winter.
Oh.
The first time I got to see him surf Jaws was they have an event. So the WSL, World Surf League, runs an event every year. It's called like the Piahi Challenge, which is where the wave Jaws is. And it's crazy because you can get maybe 2 or 3 swells a year that allow Jaws to break and break like that good. So they're on hold from like November to March. So you have like this whole like period of waiting time, but they had their contest relatively early.
Okay.
So, and it was all time. Like we pull up at probably 6 and the first heat's going out. And it was like, we were seeing guys get barreled and spit out, which is like what you want to do is you want to get these big waves and have it come over you and whatever.
Okay.
And so the waves were like all the time. It was really clean, glassy, offshore winds. And it's crazy because these dudes often only get to surf this wave. Like there's no practice time.
Yeah.
Like you're just like their contest is on.
Yeah.
Like,
And
go.
there's maybe like a few times you've gotten to do it. So a lot of dudes are going out there not even having really surfed the wave.
Oh my
But Albee
God.
has more experience than most. And he definitely like didn't feel that great that day. He was kind of off. But we pull up, he's putting, so they wear inflatable vests.
Oh,
So he's
interesting.
wearing a wetsuit that's like short, not long arms or legs, like shorts, tank top, and it's got inflatables in the front and back, and he pulls them if he needed to.
So he could get
So
up
he's
to
testing.
Right.
Yeah, if he has to get up to the surface. So he's testing it, and he's all like kind of rushing. I don't know why he did this, but he had to be like in the water in like 15 minutes before he had to be in the water to like get out to his heat. I remember we were putting the suit on. It was just like, the timing was weird. And he goes to zip up his suit.
Oh, no.
And like 4 or 5 of the zipper, like little nodes that like tie the zipper together broke. And it's like plastic. And he's like, fuck, if I pull this, the whole vest is going to blow open and it's not going to work.
Oh.
But he didn't have another, this is like how he operates. Like he didn't have another suit or anything. And he's just like, well, fuck, I guess I can't, like, I just got to make my waves. And like, I don't worry because that would make me spiral into a whole thing. And I
Right.
fully trust him. And he's the most intelligent like waterman that I know, so I'm not really stressed about it. And we walk down, he gets down to these rocks, and what they do is he paddles out through the shore break, and you can either paddle all the way out or your ski comes in and gets you, because
Gotcha.
everybody has like a safety crew and a ski that you're like allotted to. You have an extra board out there.
Okay.
It's intense. Like it's not like anything else I've ever seen in my life. So he's also riding like a brand new board, which was a little bit gnarly.
Okay.
Like a board he had never surfed, which was like a little sketchy.
Did he
but
have new booties or old booties?
he did no booties,
Oh, okay.
just the suit.
Okay.
Water's
Old
warm.
suit.
No
Old
booties.
suit, old suit, new board. I'm just trying
Yeah.
to bring this back to skating real quick, you know.
Yeah,
No, go-
I know. You're like, how do you? It's basically like if you're going. I guess it's like different with skating because you're typically riding the same like skate deck, and it's just like how you put your grip on. It's gonna feel super clean
No,
and
totally.
like poppy. But
So
boards
what-
are weird because so he goes out, heat starts, he gets a wave, and it's fine, safety wave, kind of just to like, it's a big ass wave,
Sure.
but he gets one to stand up. And the second wave he goes on, I'm sitting on the cliff with his filmer, Dan, who's a good friend of ours. And Dan's filming, and he gets on this wave, and it's like one of the bigger waves, obviously, of the heat. And he drops in, and I'm like, what the fuck? And he straightens out instead of like knifing it and like trying to get barreled or go through the wave. The wave's coming like this, and he basically like straightened out. And as he's trying to outrun this wave, the whole thing falls on him.
Oh my God.
Oh.
And I'm just watching, and I'm like, fuck, that wasn't good. And I look at Dan, and I'm like, that wasn't good. And Dan's like, he's fine. But Dan knew it wasn't good.
Right.
So now you're looking for him in all the white water, and you're like, where is he? Skis come through. Great water safety team. Like these dudes have been doing this for years. So, and a lot of these guys are big dudes, so they can pull my boyfriend's like close to 200 pounds, 6'3".
Okay.
And like these dudes can pull him out with one arm kind.
Wow.
So yeah, it's cool. So these dudes are looking for him. He finally pops up. His vest, he did pull it, but it's fully broken open.
Oh, wow.
Like he said it was going to be. His board ditched, gets washed up on the rocks. Like the board's gone. They're checking him out, and he's like, the skis have these little things that are set up on the back that you can grab onto and hold. They're like little floaties, but they're like a big area for people.
Like a little boogie
and he's
board.
on that, and like a big boogie that pulls him.
Yeah.
And he's on that, and he's like throwing up.
Oh shit! Swallowed
And
a lot
I'm
of
like,
water.
I wasn't thinking that. I'm like, he has a head injury.
Oh.
Like he has a fucking super bad concussion. So they pull him to the side. The contest is still going on. Usually too, like on a live feed, because the whole thing is broadcast live, they usually will like show wipeouts again. They didn't replay his wipeout. So everybody who's at home watching it is like, did he die?
Right.
Because they're not giving like updates. He spends like 25 minutes like way out on the ski. Like he's messed up.
Yeah.
Then he like tried to put another person's suit on and paddle out, but he couldn't see. He was so concussed.
Wow.
He was like not okay. And he ended up coming in and eventually came in, and like we didn't watch anymore. We had to go get him home, but like he was so lucky, but he had a really severe concussion. He had to go to the ER and do all that, and like he's still like, that was in January, and he's still not 100%.
Crazy.
He does this he's doing like an electrotherapy it's really cool. It's this guy in San Diego does it, and offered to Albee to do this kind of treatment for free, but he basically like wears this thing on his head every day. I like have it right here.
It's got a bunch
he wears this thing on his head.
Oh wow. Looks like a VR.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it basically sends these currents through his brain, and it's supposed to, they do it with soldiers and people who've come back from war. It helps with like post-traumatic stress, or it also helps with like a concussion that you get from surfing isn't necessarily blunt force. It's not like what we would probably get skating, where like we hit our head in like cement. It's shaking. Yeah. So it's like, if you're in war and you have a concussion, it's usually from like a bomb blowing up or you getting shook like that.
Totally.
It's really gnarly, but he's really aware, obviously, of like CTE and like a lot of these things, and he's had concussions before, so he's been really careful and kind of doing everything he can. But it's gnarly because before last summer, he had double hip surgery. He had both his labrums like redone, and he had bone spurs that they had to like saw out, and then they had to get his labrums like re-anchored to his hips.
Oh my gosh.
Jeez.
So he's like doing pretty good, but like
he's got 2 new hips and a
like,
new
I feel
hat.
He's a warrior.
Yeah, I feel so bad. He's just like one after the other. He just can't catch a break. So but he's been surfing forever, and
hopefully
he puts himself on the line like a lot.
I mean, you have to. I mean, that's some crazy shit. Those waves are no joke.
Yeah.
No joke.
No joke.
Yeah, and it's definitely, for him too, it was a full freak accident where it was, I usually would never think like he's going to take a wave that would compromise him like that. It usually would have been like he did something wrong and fell, but it was truly like he just got up on the wrong wave that did this weird thing.
Yeah, it seems to me like that vest you were talking about with the inflatable, seems to me like that's almost like a parachute, like getting ready to jump out of a plane. You want to make sure that everything is in working. You just want to, you don't want to be like, okay, you know what, broke a couple little teeth on my zip. Oh, this will be fine. I'll just jump.
It's crazy too, because I surf with him and I don't surf, and I surf and think waves that are big to me. Mm-hmm. And then I think about like what's big to me is like 1/8 of what the waves he surfs.
Oh my God.
And I trip on the pressure, because I think I read something once where it was like every square foot of water, like from a wave, is like 60 pounds of pressure.
I can see that. Yeah.
So I just think of like, oh my God, the amount of water you're dealing with is just insane.
That's like tons.
Yeah.
And you know, if I'm not the beach guy, but
you don't say.
No, even when I was younger, you know, even if there was a 6 foot wave, like just a decent wave, I'm the guy that's high stepping back into shore. Like I'm running away from it. You know, I don't know.
Yeah.
You know, they duck dive and do all this stuff. I used to boogie board.
Boogie boarding is nice.
It's fun.
Boogie boarding is great.
It's fun.
Boogie boarding is a fucking time.
It's good.
Let me tell
I see
you.
you more as a body surfer. No, Raj is more of a body surfer.
Raj is a body.
Yeah.
With his ponytail.
Sure.
Yeah.
He's got one arm out with like the hand plane, just fucking getting barreled.
Super Raj through the wave.
Yeah, super Raj. Holding on to the hand plane.
With a beer in his hand.
Yeah, with a beer.
With a Stella. Like, right
Yeah. He's got
the Stella like a football, and he's just like.
I'm sipping on that too.
He's got a Camelback on full of beer, and I got a tube.
Oh, I like that better.
Right.
I like Camelback.